I'm going to record this and I'm going to share my screen. So I kind of want to talk about this today. It's the Keystone. Keystone's just a reference. It's this stone inside of an ark. It's the last stone that they put in. Without this stone, the ark can't stand, or the arch can't stand. So we're going to talk about the Keystone, building a strong school. We're going to talk about classroom, instructors, the experience, and we have all kinds of mini systems involved in our programs, involved in our business. And I kind of want to talk today and tomorrow, and then have you tell me what you think your Keystone is. So your Keystone may be different than someone else's, but I think it's going to give you a chance to examine all the mini systems, think about the importance of the mini systems, and maybe review, say, hey, I've heard that before, I know that. Maybe I'm going to give you one or two things that may be new, and when I put an emphasis on it, you may say, hey, that's my Keystone. I thought it was this, but that's my Keystone. Just so you get the terminology. In building, you have a cornerstone. The cornerstone is the first stone set in construction of a masonry foundation. It's important since all other stones will be set in reference to this stone, thus determining the position of the entire structure. So, I talked to Sal Convento, and his cornerstone is his vision and his mission to impact the community. Sal wrote a really, really cool book on leadership and how he went through a lot of trials and had to overcome a lot of obstacles to become a leader, and how it's important to develop these in kids. So that could be the cornerstone of the building of his business. Just like the cornerstone is one of the corners of building the pyramids, the size and direction of the pyramids is determined by that first stone. Then when we refer to Keystone, a Keystone is a wedge-shaped stone piece at the apex of a masonry arch, or generally a round one at the apex of the vault. In both cases, the final piece placed during construction and locks all the stones into position. So this locking stones into positions, kind of what I want to talk about into your floor experience in your instructor training. So all the blocks of a strong retention and great students, which is your Keystone. So one of those blocks, and it could be your Keystone, is protocol. Why, what, how people behave once they are a member. It's the tradition of your school. It's the tradition of martial arts. It could be the safety. We have certain protocol to make sure all our students stay safe. It could be a unique experience. When people train at your school, it's like no other experience at other schools because it's uniquely martial arts. In fact, when I walk in the door, and this is in a shopping center, I have to bow and go, hello, ma'am, hello, sir. I don't do that with everything else. No, it's a unique experience to martial arts. It's black belt behavior. Someone could be a white belt. They're coming into your school for training, and immediately they bow on the mat. First they take off their shoes. They say hello to the instructor. They bow to the instructor. It's yes, sir. No, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. No, sir. And they have all this respect. It's unique. It could be that just a black belt behavior. So the black belt behavior is how they conduct themselves outside the school. Are they going to their elementary school and being more patient? Are they treating other students nicely? Are they having respect for their teachers? All that respect. So protocol, I think, is extremely important. And when we do our instructor colleges, we probably spend 15, 20 minutes just on this protocol. The reason we spend that much time is we teach the instructors how to practice protocol. So for instance, all of a sudden you go by the shoe rack and you notice that it's all messy, there's some shoes on the floor, and you go over to the students and go, hey, before we sign up today, can everyone follow me? And they walk over to the shoe rack and go, guys, what's wrong with this? What's wrong with this? You guys are black belts in training. And one of the black belt things that you have is pride. Are you taking pride in your stuff, and are you taking pride in your school when you look at this shoe rack? And they go, no, sir. Okay, let's put all that back away. You've got 45 seconds and back on the mat. So it's not only just a protocol, it's teaching the protocol, it's practicing the protocol so they get empowered with that. That's one of the building blocks inside a strong school. Now, that could be the Keystone. Another is class plans. Do you have a plan when you hit the floor? And I'm sure everyone's going to say yes. You know, everyone who's been around the martial arts for more than a few years, they know it's important to have a class plan. We don't want to wing it. But there's difference between some people's class plans and another class plan. I talk to some people with Rainmaker and some clients and say, yeah, we have class plans. I do them every single week. You do them every week? Yeah, because it's always changing, because I know variety is important. I go, but really, after you've cut class plans for a year, can't you repeat them? Well, I could, but I just never wrote them down. Okay, that's one thing you can start doing. A class plan is a written plan. This is like your recipe book. You know, if I want to get to this, I'm going to cook a meal, it's going to be a 5-course meal, I'm going to have a lot of recipes. Those are my class plans. If I want one of my instructors to replicate and duplicate the experience the students have that I give, well, they have to have my recipe book. They have to have my plans. Are your plans just, we're going to do punches, then we're going to do kicks, then we're going to do sparring, and we're going to do forms? That could be a class plan. Another class plan could be in the first 3 minutes, we're going to bow in. I'm going to pre-frame them. We're going to line up, and then the next 5 minutes, we're going to do drills or skills. That's a detailed class plan. Once I know a class plan, my training comes easier, because I just have to teach my instructors how to read and follow a class plan. I think that's huge important. That could be your keystone. Another keystone is presentations. You guys know as well as I do that you go to some schools, you watch the instructor do the presentation, and you go, man, this is so boring. How does it have any students at all? And then you may walk to another school and you go, wow, these kids are so crazy and they're so hyped up. It's like they gave them sugar as a warm-up. You know, the kids aren't learning anything. They're having fun and they're screaming loud, but the martial arts, you know, how is the instructor doing his presentation? Do the instructors know how to engage in students that have a learning strategy of visual? Do they know how to relate to kids that learn auditorial? Do they know how to relate to kids that are kinesthetic? That's all part of presentation. Everyone has a different learning strategy. Are my instructors aware of that? Are my instructors aware of how to mirror someone and level with someone? In other words, if I have a young student coming in and he's very shy, I can't go up to him, hey buddy, how you doing? I'm going to scare the heck out of him. I have to mirror and level with him. If he's quiet, I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to get down on his level. I'm going to get down on one knee. If he's shying away from me, I don't want to stare at him and say, keep looking at me, looking at me. Okay, he's not ready for that. I have to build rapport. So you can know great martial arts. The instructors can know great martial arts. I'm sorry. So someone just wrote something on the Facebook Live. So you can be great at martial arts, but if your presentation skills aren't good at engaging students, that's totally different.
Shane, can you bring me those straight pins?
Another thing is relationships and rapport. We all try to be friends with our students. I just remember one time that Paul Garcia and I were teaching at our school in Florida. And we had this one kid, Eric, and it's pretty cool because this was like 30 years ago. I still remember the kid's name was Eric. And he was having a hard time. He always seems like he had to run out of class. He never seemed like he was really engaged. He was an okay student. And then one day we just saw him sitting on the sidewalk. All the other kids were around, but he's sitting by himself. And so Paul goes, this is important. I got to go out there. So he sat and talked with Eric. He started talking about Eric, what he liked. And Eric liked to do, to get on a skateboard. And Paul goes, how come you're always running out here? He goes, well, my mom's a nurse, and she has to take a 10-minute break from the hospital right across the street. She's got to run over, pick me up. I've got to be ready, and then she has to take me back. It's like, okay. Well, that taught Stingo a lot. He was building a relationship with Eric. It wasn't just that he knew Eric's name. It wasn't just that he knew the mom's name, but he started building a relationship. In fact, a couple of weeks later, we were doing horse dances, and he goes, Eric, can you come up for a second? I know you like to ride a skateboard. You have to have balance on a skateboard. How do you stand? How do you bend your knees? So Eric's up there, and he goes, that's great. He goes, that's a great horse dance. Thanks for coming up and demonstrating. So it wasn't just Eric. It was Eric was a skateboarder. Eric that had problems with his mom and had to show a lot of respect. So it became a relationship. It wasn't just rapport. Hey, high five, Eric. Good to see you. There was more to it. It's easy for people to quit karate. It's not very easy to quit a relationship. So that could be your keystone. Say, okay, I knew that was important. I didn't know it was that important. If I don't have relationships, my students are going to quit. That's got to be my keystone. The keystone could be your understanding of wants and needs. So when someone comes into your school and you go, what benefit are you looking for? And the mom goes, well, he's afraid to go to school. Okay, how long has this been going on? Oh, just recently. What's happening else in your life that's showing that he's having a challenge? Well, he's afraid of this bully. So you're trying to dig in and find out what benefits the mom is looking for. That's what the mom wants. It's not necessarily what the kid needs to get great in martial arts. I know they want that. He wants self-confidence. At the same time, he wants self-confidence. For him to stay a student, I've got to get him involved in the social aspect of the school. He's got to go to parents' night outs. He's got to build some friendships. I know that one of the things he needs is, we just can't work on confidence. He needs variety. He needs to know that he's getting good. It's really important that he gets that award and he gets a stripe test, he gets a new belt, because if he doesn't do that, he's going to lose interest and quit. It's really important that he needs to see he's making progress.
That's different.
So as an instructor, you know students have wants, but at the same time, they need certain things. And you have to be able to differentiate the difference between that. The wants are very, very important, but the needs are what keep those students stuck like glue.
And the cattiness that goes on with the girls, and so we really set out to make
I've got someone talking. I'm trying to mute that person. Oh, I got it.
Our dance students and parents are all the family.
If you just gonna look, if you can just
get that many girls together.
Mute yourself, please.
But it's handled. Yeah, we handle it immediately, and we've tried to make them really feel like a team.
Can you see who that is? That's talking.
We also teach martial arts. We own the martial arts studio.
There we go.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, we'd love to have him join us. He'd be right.
So the next thing with students could be your keystone is goal setting. We're not just in there trying to get good. I mean, you've been around the industry for a while. One of the challenges that Krav Maga faced when they first started out, one of the things that even Billy Blanks started facing with Taibo and other people with their fitness industry is the lack of goal setting. People would come in and train, but if they weren't setting goals, they didn't have a goal to get.
No, because there are people that like that.
To get there,
really like that competition. They're so into it, and that's great.
So it's really important that you have some type of goal setting, that you have a ranking in place. It's really important that you concentrate on your skills of the instructor. I remember talking to one of my friends who had signed up at another school when he was young. I go, what got you introduced into that school? He goes, well, one of the cool things is that we had sizzle time. And when we had sizzle time, the instructors would get out there and they would demonstrate and they would train with the students. I go, why did that get you so excited? He goes, because they had one instructor who could kick, and he could kick to ceiling tiles. I go, no kidding. He goes, I was just so impressed. I just want to be part of that team. So when your instructors are training, it's important that they still train on their physical skills once they become instructors. I remember when I had my first school, my instructors used to say, I used to really like when I took lessons. You've got me working so hard now at teaching, I'm not really developing my own skills. I said, okay, I got it. So it's really important that we constantly enhance our instructor skills. They got to be getting better. Just like everyone's on here right now and they're learning different techniques to have better classes, your instructor skills have to be constantly sharpened. Okay, it looks like I have time for two more. One is pace and peak. Pace and peak is just your class. I'm going to go back to how we set up our class plans. If for a 45-minute class, we have what's called 3-7-12-12-7-3. That means we're going to do 3 minutes to line our students up. We're going to do 7 minutes, and we're going to do drills for skills. We're going to do 12 minutes on core curriculum A. That could be forms. It could be self-defense. Then we're going to do another 12 minutes on core curriculum B. And then we're going to do 7 minutes on high energy finish. And then we're going to spend 3 minutes on our mat chats, bowing out, and pre-framing the next class. So all those blocks lead up to the high energy finish. And that's where we really peak on energy enthusiasm. Sometimes I see schools get their classes so hyped up at the beginning during the warm-up, the kids start getting tired and start losing interest as class goes on. We want to make sure we have the class paced. And then as we're pacing it, it's getting more energetic, it's getting stronger. It's just like when you listen to music. You know, that music starts off slow, it gets going better and better and better. And then towards the end of the song, right now it's at peak energy. Same thing with your classes. If you don't have that pace and peak, not only in classes, but in training for their stripes and training for the belts, your students could lose interest just because it's too much repetition or they just got too burnt out. So I think a good keystone could be just pacing and peaking not only the classes, but the experience. I'm going to skip over life skills right now, and I just want to talk about stripe testing, because stripe testing, to me, is really important. I know it's one of those blocks. A lot of people go, yeah, I know stripe testing is every month kids come in and they get a stripe. After they get 3 stripes, they qualify for the new belt, or now they're allowed to test for the new belt. To me, I think stripe testing is a little more important, because one of the requirements for stripe testing is that they have to hand in their life skill sheets. Because in our martial arts school, we have the physical side of martial arts, the punching, blocking, kicking, and the mental part of martial arts, which are confidence, self-control, indomitable spirit. I think this month it's optimism. Those are all life skills. Well, they have to participate in life skills to get their stripe, so they're learning the mental aspects. They always have to be here too on a regular basis. They have to be here twice per week for an entire month. So attendance is tied into stripe testing, because without attendance, people aren't going to progress in the martial arts. If they don't progress, they're not going to feel good about themselves. If they don't feel good about themselves, they're not going to be motivated. Attendance is going to drop down more. So that attendance tied into stripe testing is really important. Stripe testing is also a reason for me to come every day, because every day or twice a week, I'm going to be learning something new that I'm required to test on. So there's a reason for me to come, not just that the 2 classes are required, but what I'm learning in the 2 classes per week is going to be tested on, and that's how I'm getting my stripe. At the same time, it's giving me a boost. So one time a month, someone's giving me a pat on the back, telling me I'm doing a good job. I know I'm doing a good job because I'm getting a stripe on my belt. Every stripe on my belt shows me I'm getting one more step towards black belt. Also, it keeps me consistent. You know, if I'm consistent in my training and I get all my stripes, I'm going to get that belt, and that's a huge thing. So all the details in stripe testing. I mean, this is to me, it's a huge system, probably one I could spend an easy hour on, just the way I think stripes should be presented. I've seen people line up after class and they say, okay, the instructor's going to be in the front of class. Let's bow out, guys, get your stripe, just stand in line. After you get your stripe, you can leave, go. And that's how they do stripe testing. I've seen some stripe testing where everyone stands there and goes, hey guys, I got to tell you, you did awesome. See, this stripe test represents progress. You know, when you're doing all those push-ups and sit-ups, all those punches, and all of a sudden your head starts getting wet with that, they go sweat. No, we call that progress. That's progress coming out of your head. So it represents that you made a lot of progress. It also represents that you've worked on your life skills, and not only are you using those life skills here in class, but you're using them at school. It also means that you're getting faster and stronger. Those are things that we look for every time someone gets a stripe. This isn't just a piece of electrical tape that you can get out of your dad's tool shed. This is remarkable. It's such a representation of a job well done. I mean, that's the difference in handing out a belt. You do that with a child, all of a sudden he's really looking for that experience the next time. You're also telling the parents that, hey, this stuff is working. Your kid came here to get this. I know we're not done yet, but we're taking one more step towards black belt. So those are quite a few of the steps or the blocks that are needed to build the roof of our building, as we talked about our cornerstone. So now we're talking about a keystone. So these are blocks leading up to that arch. And what we're looking for is what you consider that keystone, the one thing that holds everything together. Now, tomorrow I'm going to talk about graduation. I'm going to talk about attendance follow-up. I'm going to be talking about motivation and inspiration, talk about the culture and personality of the school. And again, I'll try to get more details so you probably understand those a little better. And then at the end of tomorrow, I would just like to open up the mic and have everyone just participate and say why you feel this segment is the keystone. Or maybe I didn't cover something and go, man, he's got some good ideas, but he missed it. The real keystone is this. I'm always open for new ideas. So we'll be doing that tomorrow. I'll be the same link at 12 noon. Rainmaker clients to get that. If you're looking at this on the live or you're watching the recording, just email me at greg@gregsilva.com and then I will send you a link for tomorrow's meeting. Good stuff, guys. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Cool. Okay. Thank you. And we will be going all of this and more when we do Instructor College. This will be through Rainmaker in Black Belt Schools International. I'm going to be there. Steve Skills is going to be there. Zach Zielkis is going to be there. Scott Axman's going to be there. Derek Frater is going to be there. The head of Rainmaker, Scott Dolph's going to be there. So we're going to have an amazing time. Okay, everyone. Thank you. And I will see you tomorrow.